Hi, in this video, I want to talk to really two groups of people. The first is department managers, executives in companies that manage a function, engineering managers, supply chain directors. And the second are to VP and directors of HR who may have internal talent acquisition teams. To the first group, the department managers, I want to explain to you how an ineffective internal talent acquisition team can cost you your bonus and hurt your career. To the second group, the VP of HR, I would like to explain to you how an ineffective internal talent acquisition team is increasing your turnover, specifically increasing your turnover in the exact people you want to keep. Let me start by talking to you about three people we spoke to in the last 6 months. All came to us, all of whom we placed in positions, and all of them were very anxious to get out of their current environment. One was an engineering manager, the other was in supply chain, and I think the third, she was in accounting. And they were all the kind of people that companies want to keep. 35, 40-year-old, good degrees, obviously been promoted a few times with the prospect of being promoted even more. All three wanted to leave for the same reason. They each managed a department of 6 to 8 people. Each of them had 2 to 3 openings in their department that had been open for anywhere from 3 months to a year. None of them could get any kind of candidate flow from their internal acquisition team. And whenever they'd complained, they were told that they were not being good team players. And they were told they were not being good team players, but people who were 23-year-old talent acquisition people. Now, if you're a manager in that kind of a situation, and your IT department, for example, had your software unable to run for 2 hours a day for 3 months, you'd get something done about it. Or if you were a department manager and your electricity wouldn't work, so your staff was unproductive, you would be talking and screaming to the maintenance people. Yet for some reason, managers in this situation are just expected to grin and bear it. Now, why is that bad? Because every one of those people has goals for the year. And if they're managing a department that's understaffed through no fault of their own, they're not going to reach those goals. What makes it worse is if you're supposed to have a 6-person department, that's now a 4-person department, and that lasts, it's soon going to be a 3-person department. Because somebody in that department is going to get tired of working hard to make up for the 2 people that are not there. So from a line manager standpoint, understand that sitting there and passively accepting an ineffective department that supports you eventually is going to hurt you. And you should speak up to the VPs of HR that are right now very angry at me for blaming everything on them. I don't blame you. I think, frankly, and I don't blame the talent acquisition people. I think there is a seductive message that is given to people in these situations that technology is going to solve all their problem, that this super duper website with its special screening software is going to provide the perfect person, and this is going to be very, very easy, is wrong. It's not the way recruiting's hard work. I know, I've done it for 40 years. And it's easy to believe that this website and this ad is going to work, or this software package is going to manage our candidate flow better. None of that is accurate. I can tell you that for a fact. And most of the talent acquisition departments in major companies are understaffed and underfunded. I'll give you an example. We reached out to a fellow who managed a business unit here in the Delaware Valley where we're based. And his unit had 8 professional jobs open. And you can tell from these ads how long these jobs have been open. These jobs were open at least 6 months. They're the kind of jobs that we fill on a daily basis. So we approached him, and the first thing he did was reached out to his corporate talent acquisition person, and that person's 1,500 miles away, and asked if he could use an outside source to fill these jobs. So she said no, And of course, she said no to a vice president. She seems to be able to do that. And just reran the same ads, you know. So I looked and I did a little dive into the organization. She was the department, one person. And that company had about 65 open jobs spread throughout the United States. One person can't do that, you know. But I am sure there is some supplier somewhere of software, of advertising, that has weaved a seductive net and explained to somebody that if they just invest in this or this and that, that one person could fill 65 jobs throughout the United States. Heck, I can't fill 65 jobs through the United States. And there's nobody that fills more jobs than me, you know. So these departments are basically set up to fail. If you, as a VP of HR, want to make that decision, you've got to fund the department appropriately, either with staff or with resources like ours that could strategically come in and help on specific roles. So if you're a manager, what you need to do is push back in a very polite and a professional way. And when your talent acquisition person says to you, give me another chance on this job, I know I can fill it, ask them how. What are they going to do? If they go, humana, well, you know, you got a problem. If they say, well, I'm going to rerun the same ad I ran, but on this website, how's that going to help? You got to do a little pushback because candidly, it's your future. You know, and if you're going to do a good job as a manager and director, you expect support, much like you probably give your people support. So push back, ask questions. If you're that VP of HR and you're not so angry at me now that you've walked away from this, please connect with us. We can be an effective and affordable, you know, source for your team and augment your team as needed. You could lease us for a project and get these jobs filled. Keep these people that are leaving because your talent acquisition department is underfunded, and we can work together in a partnership. So that option exists too, and I hope you take it. You know, so sorry for being so blunt. I hope you've got some good advice out of this. If you're angry at me, you can let me know that. You won't be the first person, and I'm sure you won't be the last. But once again, of course, you know where we are, Right Recruiting in Blue Bell, Pennsylvania. Thank you.